How's it going, folks? Figured I'd put this video up. Throughout your various stages of body work, you test fit your panels. Make sure everything fits before you do your final block sand, or basically before you shoot the paint. So you test fit all your panels to address any body work issues. Also to locate all your parts, your bolts, your speed nuts, everything you need to put the car back together. So this is like, this car, the back bumper's on it, but it's all going to come off. The chrome exhaust tips are on it, but they're all going to come off. So there's a lot of putting it together, taking it back apart. But one issue we have here is this lower valance does not line up with the edge of the quarter panel. I don't know if you can see it. Right here. The corner's in about, it looks like half to 5/8 of an inch at the top. So what I'm going to do, or attempt to do, is I'm going to take the back bumper off, and I'm going to fasten the other side tight, and I'm going to grab this side, probably with a leather gloved hand, and just start tweaking, trying to pull it out, get that 1/2 inch on that corner. I think that valance took a fall, the 3 meter drop test they call it. I think it got hit on that corner and it pushed it in. This car has had a fender extension welded on, as well as a quarter panel on the other side. I do not think it's a fitment issue with the way the quarters were welded on, because everything else lines up fine. And I believe even though it was many years ago we did the quarters, we had a valance bolted up to line everything up. So I don't doubt that this, matter of fact, I know this thing slid off. It was piled on something, it slid, I heard it hit the ground. I just can't, I feel a little dent in it, but nothing major. So I'm gonna grab it and start tugging out and try to bend it out a 1/2 inch. And that's what we're gonna do. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that bumper off to where I can get behind the valance. Okay, so we got the bumper off. You can see this a little better now. That doesn't line up. And what I've found is a dent right in here. There's a dent. I don't know if you can see it. This is a used piece. I bought this years ago. That dent may have been in there. Or it may have been, like I said, the 3 meter drop test when it fell. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. I'm going to hammer and dolly that a little bit and try and get it flat. And then see where we're at with this. I think we'll get a measurement so we can tell if we're making progress. I'm going to get a ruler and measure that. Alright, so using our trusty machinist's rule, graduated in 64ths, we were about a 1/2 inch out of alignment there. And then it comes down to nothing at the bottom. It lines up. So we're going to see about tweaking that back. This is why you do this stuff. Get it all fit before your final coated 2K, final block sand, and then shoot paint. Okay, now what I did was I put on these old heavy leather gloves. They're mismatched, but you don't want to do this barehanded because this sharp metal will dig into your hands. But I put on the gloves and I grabbed right here with 2 hands and I just started pulling this way. I started pulling on this because it's fastened on the other side of the car. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but this is getting smaller through here. And I went from, this is a 64th graduation ruler. I don't know if you can see, but I went from 32 64ths, which is a 1/2 inch, down to 24 64ths on my measurement up here. So I moved it 1/8 of an inch. I think it's 1/8 of an inch. It looks like it. So I went from 32/64 to 24/64. And looking at the graduations on the ruler, it looks like a 3/16 move, maybe a 1/4 inch. So I'm gonna keep tugging on this and see where I get. I'm gonna keep pulling on the metal, see if I can get it to line up. And then again, I still might go back over that dent with a hammer and dolly. But right now I'm concerned with getting that to line up. Okay, so this is what we got. I don't know if you can tell. It's a lot better. It'll line up. Once I get the speed nuts in it, I can push this out and cinch it down with the bolt. And it's gonna line up nice up through here. But again, like I said, what I did was I came at it from this angle. I grabbed onto this with 2 hands with big leather gloves, and I just started yanking it. And then I got in behind here, stuck a piece of wood in here like this, and I hit the end of it with a dead blow and just bent it out. Well, I like to say tweaked it. I bent it out a little bit to get that final, inkling of an inch there. And yeah, that's it. That's going to work. And then I have to address this dent down here, which at this point I could just use filler, but I think I'm gonna hammer and dolly that a little bit. I don't know yet. Right now though, I gotta find all the speed nuts for everywhere this bolts up. I think I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna bolt this up tight and then double check the fitment and bolt the bumper back on. But yeah, don't be afraid to bend and tweak things to make them line up. Now this was a used piece I bought years ago. Like I said, that dent may have been in it. I seem to think we had it on the car before and it fit. I think it fell and got tweaked. But I don't know what happened. I'm guessing. Now they make these. You can buy these repop, but they're not cheap. I'm gonna say they're $500-600 just for this piece of sheet metal. They make the front one too. They make a lot more body panels for this car than they used to. It used to be you had to buy used stuff and make it work. So I'm from that school. I'm from the school of making your old used stuff work. But that's the way it was 20 years ago with these cars. Hell, even 10, 15 years ago. But yeah, takeaway there is you want to save yourself some money, you make it work. If you have $1,000 to buy front and lower rear valances, go for it. It's quicker, but you can watch YouTube videos. Pro body guys hate, well, I don't say they hate, they do not like working with overseas made body parts. So you might get a new one of these and you might still have to bend it to make it fit. I guess that's my point there. You're better off using original USA made, Chrysler made sheet metal when at all possible. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys got something out of that. Okay, right. So what we're looking at is that dent that I mentioned that was there. I got the panel lined up. I think I'm going to do some hammering on this dent. And then we'll come over here. I'm going to take a picture of this. Before and after. But the dent is right in there. Can definitely feel that's like a bulge right up in through here. Let's look at the other side. I'm gonna flip it around. I'm working out of the trunk of the car, so this is because my shop is such a mess. It would take a day to clean the place to be able to do proper bench videos. Okay, so here's a little something there, but it's not a dent. This is what the other side looks like. There is a little something there, but I don't think I may skim that with mud on the outside. But it should look like this on the back. Let's look at the front. So this is the right rear Nothing there. Now we'll flip it around. We'll look at the dent. There's the dent. It's on the left rear, the side that I was tweaking and bending on. So the goal is to knock that out enough to be able to skim that with plastic and smooth it out. If you look at it, looks like there's a little rough area there too. If you look though, this is the other side. These parts get beat up because they're down near the road. They're underneath the bumper of the car. I guess the point I was trying to make is if you look at it, it's not supposed to be totally flat anyway. It kind of comes and goes up to the corner. It's like a curve. So our goal is to knock that dent up higher, but not to where it's totally flat, to where we could form that curve with plastic. Alright, so I'm going to leave the camera hang here. I'm going to attempt to hammer and dolly this, where hopefully you can see what's going on. Let's get rid of that light in the background. It might help. Sometimes the light in the wrong place screws the video up. Yeah, you kind of see it. So I'm going to take I don't know if I did anything or not. I think I'm going to go after that area. Alright, so if you look at that, I can't tell if it's getting better or not. Definitely smaller and enough to where you can put plastic in. I can get some plastic in through there. Right now, I think I'd wait till spring. I'm out in the garage, but I got the heat going, but it's January. It's really only 50 degrees in here. A little too cold to be using paint and primer and plastic. So the metal's cold. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to tap on it some more. I have a coat of single stage paint on this, but I have duct tape over the tip of my hammer, so it's not really messing the paint up too much. I don't know if you noticed that. Let's flip it over. It's getting better, I think. So that, I don't know if you can tell, that's looking better. Hopefully I pretty much know I can skim that with plastic and it'll smooth out. Other than that, I think we're going to bolt this thing up and test fit it to the bumper and get a final shot here with everything lined up. Alright. All right, this is the end result. I sprayed some self-etching primer around because I had some exposed metal, but you can see it lines up now better the way it should be. There'll be more smoothing out as we go, but this is why we test fit our panels. You want to address all these issues before the car's in paint, because you don't want to be bending, twisting, hitting with a body hammer when there's paint on the car, because it'll end up messing your paint up. But yeah, that's it. Done deal. One less thing to worry about. On to the next issue, whatever that may be. Stay tuned.